this video, I'm going to show you how to make Bo's wonderful Pegasus model. Please keep in mind that this is an advanced model and you will have to be very comfortable with making asymmetrical reverse folds. And if just me saying that has confused you, this may not be the model you want to start on. You of course are more than welcome to try, but just be aware that asymmetrical reverse folds take a lot of feel for the paper. It's not something that you instantly say fold from this point to this point and there you have it. It takes a little bit of feel for how the paper is folding. So again, this model is more for the advanced folders. Certainly invite anybody to have a go at it, but please keep that in mind while you're watching the video. So we start with our dollar bill like this. And what we want to do is fold what will be very similar to a water bomb base with the diagonal creases, but we want that base to be offset a little bit from the edge of the bill. And one of the ways to do that is to fold this edge, and instead of folding this edge up to the edge of the bill like we normally would, we're only going to fold it up to the edge of the border here, like so. We're going to bring the edge of the bill just to the edge of the printed border. And it doesn't have to be exact. So it helps if you have a dollar that has this border parallel with the edge of the paper. So we make that fold there. And what we want to do is then make a complementary fold, diagonal fold along here, but generally the borders printed on a dollar are not even, and so you can't just fold this to the edge here, otherwise your folds will be uneven. So in order to make an even fold, we're going to make a reference crease right along this edge right here. And the way I like to do that is by turning the bill over and folding back, making a corner where the diagonal fold starts, and then making sure that this edge lines up with this edge of the bill. It gives a nice straight fold. Then we go ahead, open this up, and now we can fold this edge to this crease that we just made, and it will give us a very nice complementary fold, completing the first few steps of the model. And then we go ahead and open it back up like this, and you'll see we have a nice X crease pattern. Now from there, we're going to take the bill and we're going to put a crease in the center. Go ahead and turn it over and fold the bill in half. Go ahead and open that up, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold these edges, the top and bottom edges, into that center crease we just made. That one, and now we fold the top edge to that edge, like so. Now as you're folding it, the model might get turned around depending upon how you did it. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for the diagonal creases that you made, and you'll see those here. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold these back along the creases those diagonal creases that we already made. So fold that one in. And when you do that, you will have your crease will be on this side here. It will not be on the back side. So you will have to add a crease in when you make that. But just go ahead and fold these flaps down on the diagonal creases that you already have. And then you're going to take this and you're going to put a crease that follows right along these edges. So go ahead and just fold this over, making sure you come to nice points here. and that your center crease follows this center crease here, like that. Then you're going to open this up, and now we have a nice crease right in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in diagonals here and here using this crease that we just put in here as a reference. And you can do that by folding this up, coming to a nice point here, following right along here, like that. Open that up, and go ahead and fold this down, again coming to a point here, and running this edge along here. Now in the printed instructions, it shows bringing this down like that, making this a point, and lining up this crease with this edge. It's the exact same thing, so whichever way seems easiest to you at the time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a crease alongside this edge here. So it doesn't matter which way you've done it, if you folded this down or if you folded this up, we're going to just put a crease along this edge right here. It's fairly simple. Just fold this over, coming to a point here, and making sure that this lines up with this edge right here. Nice straight crease. Good. Open that up all the way. Open these flaps up so you have your bill like this. And what you're going to do then is just open this up on these creases that you've already made. So as you open this up, you'll have this, and just go ahead and keep folding it down, and everything is folding along creases that we've already made. So we'll have this, and we'll have a little bit of overlap right here. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to open this up, and again on creases that we've already made, we're going to open this up as we push this forward, and this crease in here is also a crease that is already in the paper, and so as you push it down, it will open up like this, and this is what we'll have. Now we're just going to take this, and again using a crease that runs along here that is already in the model, we'll open it up, and there we have this. This is the way the build looks now. Now we're going to add a couple more creases into this model. We're going to take a diagonal crease along here and along here, just up until this crease here and this crease here. And the way we're going to do that is just take this edge and run it alongside here, like this. And when you make this crease, you are only going to crease it until you get to this crease right here. So you just crease this until you run into this crease here. Open it up, do the same thing on the other side, taking this edge, running it along here. And again, only creasing it until you get to this crease right here. So set that crease and then open it up. And now we're going to do the same thing, very similar that we've just done a couple times, is where we're going to fold in on these diagonal creases. Now we are going to, by doing this fold, we're going to put a new crease in here, but that will happen fairly naturally as we pull this together like this. The paper is going to want to put a crease there. It's fairly natural. And just keep folding these in as you fold this down. And again, this crease here is a very natural addition as you fold this down. And so that is what we have now. Then from there, we're going to take the model and we're going to turn it over so that we're looking at it like this. We're going to take this part right here, you're going to fold it in to this center line right here, right along where these two flaps meet. So you just fold this to the center, and you're going to take this side and fold it to meet that edge. Like that. Go ahead and open those up, and now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this edge into the center, and we're going to fold through all of these layers here as well. So go ahead and fold this edge to the center, folding through all these layers here. Like that. Turn around and again do the same thing on this side, folding this to the center, and you're folding all these pieces as well. Open that up, and now what we're going to do is take this part of the model, and you're just going to fold this back because you want to get this edge of the flap, and you want to pull it open, and you're going to let this flap here open up as you pull and open up the model. And that's, again, simply taking the model like this, letting this flap come up, taking this flap, and opening the model. Now what you're going to do is you're going to reinforce the creases that you made when you folded the model like this, because the creases that you put here are going to be are not going to be very sharp because they went through so many layers. Alright, so when you open up like this, you'll have a bit of a crease there, and you'll have a nice strong crease here. So in order to reinforce this crease that runs here, an easy way to do that is just turn the model over and fold this flap to that strong crease and reinforcing these creases here like this. And do the same thing on the other side. What we're doing is, you can see here there's a really nice crease here, and we've tried to put in a little bit of a crease here, but it didn't take very well. So again, turn it over, and you can just fold this flap up to where that crease, this part of the model will lay along that crease. So if you just leave this here, you can just fold this up and match it. So you're just reinforcing this crease here. And then you're going to go ahead and turn the model back over, so you're looking at this part of the model. And this part is a little tricky, but it shouldn't be too much effort if you take it slowly. Now you'll see a crease right along here. Very natural part of the paper. Very natural crease. And to make the next step easier, what I like to do is I take this, fold it, and I really make sure that the edge here is creased very distinctly, because you're going to use that as a guide as you fold this next part in, because you're going to fold this flap down while you're folding this edge in. And as you're folding this down, you're gonna, here's that part of the crease that I had you reinforce, and that crease is gonna lay along this edge. So you're gonna add a 45-degree crease in, and the way you do that is, as you have this down, this and this down, you work that crease, and then this crease here that I had you reinforce, you're going to see I'm going to bring so that it lays along the edge, and I'll show you what the final result is so you can kind of see what I'm trying to accomplish here. And again, I'm doing the same thing here. taking this crease here that I had to reinforce and working it so that it lays right along this edge, and then flattening it so that this is what I wind up with. And I'll do that, show that to you again. We have this, we're folding this in, and we're folding this back to make it wind up like this. So this will take a little bit of working with to get just right, but with a little bit of patience you should be able to get it. Again, just looking at how the end result is supposed to look, you'll be able to make the paper fold like that. So that just takes a little bit of patience to do. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and do several folds on this area here that are going to really test your ability to follow creases. Alright, so what we're going to do is take okay. So what we're going to do is take, there's a crease that's going to run along where these edges are. So there's a crease that runs along here, and there's a crease that runs along here, and you're going to fold this up, and you're going to fold this up along that crease while pulling this up, and there's a crease already here that runs along the edge where this flap here and this flap here are. So you're basically building a box in here by bringing this up and this up, and you're adding a 45-degree crease as you bring these edges of this box up. And here you're doing the same thing, bringing this up right here, like that. Again, these are creases that already exist in the paper. Like this. So I'll go over that quickly on how it's supposed to look. Okay, so we've pulled this in like this, pulled that piece in, and now quickly you can do it by just kind of pinching all the pieces and letting this flap pull out until you have basically you've made a nice little box. And it's very important that you get that procedure, because you're going to have to do that a couple more times on this one piece right here. So now that we've done this, and you can go ahead and fold these pieces down like this, just taking the box and folding it down. And then what you're going to do is you can do that exact same procedure on this other side of the box. So just fold this back right there until you're looking at the bottom. And what you're going to do is the exact same thing you just did. Pretty much, you're just going to pinch the sides to form a little box like this. And so you'll have a little, there's the bottom of the box. Go ahead and now the model doesn't really lay flat in any way, shape, or form at this point, but you've got this box structure now like this, And from here, you're going to now from here you've got this box structure. See, because you started like this, and what you're going to do when you turn it over is you're going to basically collapse this, and it's fairly simple. You just push in, and again, it helps if you, while you're pushing this in, you pinch the corners, and you can see how that collapses like that. And so that's what we have. Now I'm going to go through that whole process fairly quickly, but you'll be able to see how the model collapses in on itself. So this is the way we're looking at step 32, and I'm just going to go through this fairly quickly without explaining too much, so you can just see the process, and hopefully that will help as I form these pieces. And there we go. Again, this is really going to help if you have the printed instructions, so you can see the step-by-step pictures to help guide you along this process. Now once you've done this, you're going to do a very asymmetrical reverse fold of this corner right here. And the way you're going to do that, it starts off very simply by pulling this up to here on a crease that you've already made. And as you do that, I'll show you how you're going to open this up all the way like this to this inside fold right here. And so you're going to fold this up like this, and as you're doing that, you're going to make a fold that goes from this corner to where this crease meets. So basically what you're doing is you're doing a very asymmetrical reverse fold on this right here. So you're pulling this up like that, and then while you're doing that, you're rolling the paper until it meets this corner. Like that. Again, that's also fairly tricky, but once you get the idea, I think you can manage it. So you see, here's the fold we made. Here's the flap that it looks like before we start, and then this is what it looks like after we start. Again, this is after the fold, before the fold. So you take all the layers here and open them up like this. And now we're going to fold this down, and as we fold this down, we take this to the corner, setting that crease, and then we flatten it. And that's the way that looks. Again, I'll do one side again. So we're here, we're folding this up. We open all the layers. We're folding this, folding to the corner here, and then closing it up like that. Now once we have that taken care of, we're going to look at it from this side and fold the model in half like this. Now take just this flap and fold it up as far as it can go, and you'll see that because of this you're not going to be able to fold it up all the way, so you just fold it to where it will go and just close it. So you're basically just hinging this up as far as it will go, and you'll have a little bit of a wraparound here. Of course, doing the same thing on the other side, just taking this piece like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a reverse fold in here from this point to right here. If you want to put in a preliminary crease, you can fold it like that, putting a crease from that point to where this edge meets there. Open it up. And make that reverse fold. That's a fairly basic reverse fold. Here, open it up. Again, going from this point here to this point, like that. Opening up, you're going to do another reverse fold on this piece right here, just taking this edge here and bringing it to this edge here. And there we have that double reverse fold. Very quickly, we're going from this point here to this point here. We do a reverse fold like that, and then we open it up and we take these edges here and pull them to these edges here. And close it up. And now we're looking at the model like this. We're now at step 60, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this entire section here and we're going to fold it so it comes down and follows this here. And as we do that, you'll notice that it folds underneath here. So I'm going to fold this, and you see how I pull it underneath this flap here in order to make this fold right here. So I just took this, folded it, letting this flap come up as I come down, and then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to fold it up so that it comes along this side right here. So fold it down, and then I fold it up parallel to the paper underneath it, and it'll also be parallel to this page right here. And then I open that up, and I have a crease running here, and I have a crease running here. And what I'm going to do is make a reverse fold on this crease right here. So I open it up, and I fold this back on that crease, and I close it back up. Now what you're going to find is that this reverse fold here, like what just happened here, will come undone, which isn't a total disaster, but you'll want to put that reverse fold, those double reverse folds back in. And when you do that, you'll find that this piece won't actually line up perfectly. It'll sneak back down a little bit like that, and that's just the way you're going to do it. So that's not going to be a perfect reverse fold because of these double reverse folds in there, and that's fine. And so now that diagonal crease that we put in here, you can see that right there, is going to be another reverse fold. So we're going to open this up and pull this down. Now what you're going to, this is a little tricky because of the several layers of paper here and the fact that it doesn't line up exactly. But what you want to do is get it to be as much of a point here as possible. And it won't be exactly perfect, but the best point that you can make there, the better it will be for you later. Okay, now that we've done that, this gets a little bit tricky as we start trying to force the paper into doing some things that it may not really want to do. But the first thing we do is we're going to take this flap here, we're going to take all the layers and we're going to fold them up. So go ahead and fold from this point here all the way to as the point right here. So you're going to fold this up as much as you possibly can from this point to as far as you can open it up here. And of course, as many things are, we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we fold this up, and you can match this with this point here. That's a good way to start the fold. And now what you're going to do, this is one of the trickier parts of this model, is because what you're going to do is you're going to open this up and you're going to take this flap, which will have this folded layer. First thing you're going to do is you're going to fold this edge along this edge here. So you're going to fold that like that up until you get to this crease here, in which case you're going to fold it like this. Now eventually you're going to want to have this flat, and you're going to, what's going to happen is you're going to create sort of a kind of a gusset fold in there. That'll just sort of happen naturally as you try to flatten this out, and you can kind of see it happening here. Basically, if you try to keep this fold straight here while at the same time folding this up here, you're going to pull the model this way, and then by pulling this flat up, you'll sort of create a little gusset fold in there. Don't worry too much about that, it'll just happen naturally, especially once we turn this over and do the same thing here, bringing this to this edge while at the same time folding along, keeping this straight. So it's going to start, as you can see, it's starting to not want to do that. So what you have to do is be very, pinch it very tight up here, and to keep those flat, and then flatten this crease, and it will lay nice and flatly because it made itself a little bit of a gusset fold in here. So that's what's going to happen naturally. Now you'll see this piece right here that's kind of sticking out. It doesn't show up in the photos, but we'll take care of that later. So if you see this sticking out here, ignore it. We'll take care of that later. It's no big deal. Okay, so now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to fold the head of our wonderful model. And how we're going to do that is we're looking at the fan fold that we have of the head, and we're just going to take this first corner here and we're going to do a reverse fold inside there. So if you want to do a preliminary crease of that, you would take this and fold it at a 45-degree like that, and open that up, and then fold, and you're then adding a crease by pulling this down like that. Very similar to John Montrell's giraffe. And again, you do the same thing on this side. If you don't want to do the preliminary crease, you can just open it up and take this edge and fold it along this edge like that, and then taking this like that and folding it down. So very quickly, the way that is going to look is you're just taking this first crease and going like this. And now you're going to take where this edge is right here, this edge, and you're going to fold down along that edge like that. So the flap that you have here, it'll be along that edge, and this will be along that edge. That's just setting the crease so that you can do a reverse fold. So open them back up, find the center of your fan fold, and do a reverse fold on that guide crease that you just did. And you can see these will be the ears, get tucked in like that. And so now we have the beginnings of the head. Now we have the beginnings of the head. Now what we're going to do is take this, and we're going to fold it down to give the shape of the head. So don't go all the way down to the corner here. I'll do the fold, and then I'll show you kind of how it looks. And it's not at a 45-degree angle. This is really a kind of a shaping fold, however you want to do it. How much of you want his nose, how wide you want that to be, how pointed you want his head to be. So this is very much a judgment call right there. Where you make that fold. So go ahead and then open that back up, and then open the flaps of the head. And what you're going to do right now is you're going to create the ears. And the ears are pretty much, again, however you want them to come up. An easy way to do it is to do a sloppy rabbit ear fold, I guess you'd call it, where you pinch this triangle together and then just pull it up, and you'll see I will lift up these layers as I do it and put the ear right around kind of where the point of his head is. It's something that you'll just have to play with and adjust as you go. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, I just usually take this, pinch it, and then pull it up, bringing these layers, pinch it, bringing these layers up so that his ear comes out around, or maybe just behind the point of the head. And then here on that fold that we made like this, you're going to open up the head and reverse fold along that guide crease. Go ahead and close the head back up, and you'll see now he's got some ears, and you go ahead and spread those out a little bit. And then you have this flap. What you're going to do is you're going to tuck that in to the slot you created, but with that reverse fold. So you take that in and tuck that in like that. Play with the ears a little bit, and there you have the head of your Pegasus. And then from there, you're going to take this part right here. You take this part right here, and you're just going to fold it over like that. Again, the other side, you're just going to fold this over so this piece of paper is straight across. looking like this, and his little head and ears are poking out. And when you've done that, you're going to open up the front legs, and this is where I said, like, you have this little piece sticking out. This is where we're going to take care of that. Go ahead and reverse fold this back however far you want. It's really just to get that piece out of the way. So just reverse fold that however far you want. This is where you try and keep the legs coming to a point. So when you do this reverse fold, try and keep it out of the way as much as possible. Okay, and then so now you're looking at this. Now these right here are going to become the back legs of the model. So what you're going to do is, you see there's this part right here, this edge right here. You're going to fold this edge down alongside that, like this. And then you do the same thing on the other side. You're taking this edge and folding it down along here. Like that. And this next part really isn't so much a fold, it's just a slide, a swivel. Because what you're going to do is, this right here is going to be the tail, and so you need to swivel that up so that the tail actually is above the back of the leg. So you pinch the tail and you work it up until, you probably don't want it that far above, until the tail, but I'll do it there, until the tail clears the back of the legs. And what you're going to do is a reverse fold here. So this edge right here is going to come alongside this edge here until it meets this crease down here, and then it's going to go from that point up to the corner of the tail. So first thing I do is fold this so that this edge matches this edge, and pulling the paper until it makes a point here. And that's what we have there. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, you'll have to have a comfortability with asymmetrical reverse folds. So again, this part lines up with this part, and I make a point at the edge of the tail. Kind of sticking out like that. And then from there, what we're going to do is take these back legs here and we're going to thin them. Now you've already got a crease along here, so you just follow that crease as you fold these back. And fold this back. Again, there's a crease already there. That's what we have there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this wing here and fold that up basically as far as it will go. We're just opening that up, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this flap here and just open it up, spreading it out like this. And so now we have kind of that wing. And now the shaping of the wing is something really to taste. I'll go through what the directions say, but really you've got a lot of flexibility in how you want your model to look. The directions suggest just folding this edge back. It makes it a nice kind of a small sweeping wing. Again, there's really a lot of variations that you can do with the wing, but I'll leave that to your creativity. So again, we'll do the same thing with the other side. We basically are taking just the wing part and opening it up and opening that flap there, and again doing what the directions say by folding this back. You can, you know, make a nice point. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things you can do with the wing, but I'll follow along with the directions for now by folding this wing back. Nice little sleek wing. And from there, now we're going to work on these back legs. You will have a there's an imaginary line, like follow the underside of the body right here. And so what you're going to do is you're going to fold the leg back, following that kind of imaginary body line, like that. And so from the other side, you're folding them to the inside of the body is what you're doing. And then what you're going to do, this is a little tricky, is you're going to fold this back so that it is pointing, making the leg come down. So you folded this back, and then when you fold this back, you're basically going to create another crease that starts at this point here and runs out a little bit. So it's a little difficult to show, but you can go ahead and like pinch there. It's really difficult to show. You're just going to have to play around with it so that your leg starts off like this, and then you're going to fold it so that it's coming down like that. And then from there, what you're going to do is look on the inside of the leg, because you can see here really nicely how here's that white part, and then here's this part right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold right along this side, folding this part back. So we open it up, and you can see here's this piece that we folded. We're going to fold this back along that edge and then flattening it. And sometimes I even like to pull a little bit of this white paper back a little bit. It makes it look a little bit more like a hoof. In this case, this paper ripped, but dollar paper won't. And then, of course, do the same thing on the other side. You can see my folds didn't end up quite even. This is something you're going to have to figure out on your own. It's very difficult to show. But there we go. I'll make those even. But that's what you're gonna get for the back legs. And then for the front part, you're really just going to do a you're just gonna fold it back, kind of like a rabbit ear. You're just gonna squeeze these together. Same thing on this side. Squeeze these together like this, and shape the legs. And there you have a Pegasus. So again, there's a lot of things that you can do with the wings to give it more personality. But that's a good start. Again, you're really going to have to give some time and patience to a lot of these reverse folds to get them to go the way you want them to go. That just takes some practice.